Hi, this is Brian Hyde, and if you're familiar with Who's Next, I'm going to just assume that you're probably familiar with LaVoy Finicum and what happened 2 years ago up in Oregon when LaVoy was killed at the conclusion of the occupation of the Malheur Wildlife Refuge. This is something we're going to be following very closely here on Who's Next. And we spoke with Jeanette Finicum last night, and there were a few things that she asked me to pass along to you. And I'm hoping that we will continue to be a source of information for you in following the developments in the Finicum case. First of all, Jeanette emphasized that the one thing she really wanted to, the message she wanted to get out no matter what, was she wanted to thank all of the people over the last couple of years who have stepped up and helped her family in every way possible. And there are so many ways I can't even begin to list all the ways. Some of them financially, some of them just helping hands there at the ranch, and sometimes moral and spiritual support. She is so appreciative of all of those people who have reached out and who continue to reach out. And this is why we're sharing this message today, is because we're pretty certain you're going to be interested in knowing that later this week Jeanette will be filing a wrongful death complaint. And as we watch that work its way through the justice system, Who's Next is going to be there to provide you with updates and insights so that you can better understand this. And one of the other things that Jeanette asked us to communicate to you is the reasons why she is seeking justice. You need to understand that this is not a vendetta. This is not about vengeance. This is about holding accountable the government agencies and the various actors within those agencies who participated in all of the events, who set the decisions that set in motion the events that led to LaVoy Finicum being killed 2 years ago. I know a few people who have been following this case who don't, at the very least, have some questions, and many of us actually have some very serious concerns and frustration and anger over the idea that this good man's life was taken. When you consider the outcomes, of the trials in Oregon, where 7 people were just full on acquitted, it makes you wonder, why again did this have to end the way that it did? So we want to hold the system accountable. We want to make sure that the system is working for us and not just for its own interests. Very, very bad things happen historically when governments are allowed to operate unchecked. And in this case, a family has been deprived of a husband, father, grandfather, a great man. For that matter, people who love liberty have been deprived of a marvelous voice that advocated for liberty, and not just for a few, but for everybody. So keep Jeanette and her family in your prayers. This is one of those times where, again, I think that there's a universal sense of justice, okay? That we all understand that ultimately justice is going to be done. It would be very nice to see justice done in this case, and it is our honor to bring you that information as it develops. I'm going to ask you to share a couple of pages. Number one, we appreciated everybody who followed us through the Bundy trial and who helped spread the word about Who's Next. If you would continue to please like and share this page, get this message out, let people know that this is a resource available to them. I also want you to show some love to Jeanette and her family, and you can do that by following their Facebook page, LaVoy Finicum's Stand for Freedom, #LibertyRising. So there's some exciting days ahead of us. I have every reason to believe that we are going to see continued tender mercies and little miracles that will go a long ways towards helping to put things right. Ultimately, this is about justice, which means what is fair needs to happen, and someone needs to answer. So agencies need to be held accountable for their actions, particularly for the sake of the Finicum family, but in the broader sense, for all of us. We all benefit when government operates in our interests. So thanks for joining us. Please share this video wide and far, and stay with us as we bring you continued updates as the complaint will be filed this week, and I'm sure we'll have much more to talk about in the days ahead.